Parliament and called for new elections. But the Parliament, controlled by Yeltsin's conservative opponents, voted to impeach him, naming his chief rival, Vice President Alexander Rutskoy, acting president. At this hour, Wednesday morning Moscow time, all appears quiet.
Which brings us to our picture of the week. This was the scene tonight as a few thousand people, many of them communists, protested Yeltsin's move outside the Parliament, where 2 years ago Boris Yeltsin, backed by hundreds of thousands, climbed atop a tank and later proclaimed, "It has again been shown how great is the power of the people." Today, the embattled Russian president is hoping that the power of the people is still behind him. That's Dateline. Thanks for being with us. I'm Jane Pauley.
And I'm Stone Phillips. For all of us here at NBC News, good night.
For a transcript of this program, please send a $5 check or money order to NBC News Transcripts, Box 7, Livingston, New Jersey, 07039.
This is WNNE TV, Hartford, Hanover.
There's a crisis in Russia tonight. Boris Yeltsin has decreed an end to Parliament, and his enemies want to impeach him. Back home, the final results of a Heartland school budget vote.
There, the runner goes, the pitch a strike. Pena bluffed the throw, and then his throw to third hit Carter. They had Carter.
And those poor old Red Sox, they just can't win.
All the way to the wall, and 2-run score.
News 31 with Diana Jones and Mark Ashola with sports. Live from the WNNE studios, it's News 31, The Night Report.
Good evening, I'm Paul McGonigal. Diana Jones has the night off. In the news tonight, Russia. The escalating power struggle in Moscow continues, with Russian lawmakers voting to oust ministers of defense and security. Earlier, the hardline legislature voted to impeach President Boris Yeltsin. The votes followed Yeltsin's announcement that he was disbanding the Russian legislature and ordering December elections to replace it. NBC's Tom Ackerman has the details.
With just a few minutes' notice, Yeltsin went on Russian TV tonight to say he's dissolving Parliament effective immediately and setting a December date for new elections. Yeltsin's furious opponents reacted swiftly. The Parliament voted to strip Yeltsin of his presidential powers. Then it swore in Vice President Alexander Rutskoy as acting president. Later, the Russian Constitutional Court upheld Yeltsin's ouster. But in Washington, President Clinton phoned Yeltsin tonight
to assure him of our strong support and to seek assurances that the elections will be free and fair.
Earlier, Clinton described the Russian showdown as understandable.
They're going through these things, trying to come to grips with what it means to be a democracy and what it means to try to change the economy.
Several thousand anti-Yeltsin demonstrators set up barricades outside the Parliament building, ignoring Yeltsin's warning that defying his decree would be punished. But the Russian Defense Ministry announced it would stay neutral, and the Pentagon reported no unusual troop movements in or around Moscow. Now, Yeltsin was reported to be spending the night in his country house outside the capital, but dawn will be breaking in just a few hours, and how this crisis will play out then is anyone's guess.
And back home, tomorrow the best political sales job that President Clinton can muster for his big health care reform plan. His goal, getting the plan passed by Congress. But what will it mean to you? Steve Handelsman has the details.
First of all, the plan covers all of us, every U.S. citizen, even legal aliens. 37 million people who have no insurance now will get it. Here's what's covered. Doctor's fees, hospital stays, testing and lab work, prescription drugs, some drug and alcohol treatment, some mental health care, pregnancy, and abortion, which Right to Lifers said today they'd fight.
That's not nurturing. And health care reform ought to be all about nurturing and healing, not destroying.
Pro-choicers warned if abortion's not covered, they vote no.
Women want what men want. Get it? I mean, it's that simple. Just treat us the same way. Let us have what is medically necessary and appropriate.
The plan emphasizes preventative primary care, so it'll pay for regular checkups, mammograms, cholesterol screenings, and childhood immunizations. Not covered, adult dental care and eyeglasses. Kids' teeth and glasses are covered. Hearing aids and cosmetic surgery. 80% of the cost of the care is paid by employers. What will it cost you? Depends. If you pick a low-cost plan, about $460 a year plus $10 per visit. What you'll visit is an HMO, group-style hospital or clinic, where you may not be able to pick your own doctor. If you want to choose your doctors and want the right to see any specialist, you'll pay more. A high-cost, high-choice plan would go for about $1,140 a year, and you'd pay 20% in cash for checkups and treatments. Self-employed people pay about $4,500 a year. The government pays for the poor and the unemployed. So if you have an HMO clinic-type plan now, you'll probably be paying less. If you pick your own doctor now, you'll probably pay more. And if you have no insurance at all, looks like you're going to get some. I'm Steve Handelsman, NBC News at the White House.
Also on the health front, a new survey puts New Hampshire second in the nation when it comes to health. Minnesota ranked first, Vermont sixth, and Maine 14th. According to Northwestern Mutual Life Insurance Company, the survey found that since 1990, New Hampshire's health has improved more than any other state, and it ranked the Granite State tops in parental care and lowest in premature deaths. The survey also found nationally the overall health improvement was increased due to a decrease in smoking, declining highway fatalities, and state support for local health care and hospitals for the poor. The rankings put Minnesota at the top for the second straight year and Mississippi at the least for healthy state. The report weighs such criteria as violent crime, cancer rates, infectious diseases, and mortality rates. Stay with us. We'll be back with more stories making news in the Twin States, including the final tally from Heartland, when News 31 The Night Report continues.
A lot of people believe I was one of the smartest men who ever lived. But I was really one of the luckiest. You see, when I conducted my famous kite experiment during a lightning storm in 1752, I was doing something you should never do, experimenting with electricity. Most people don't realize how incredibly lucky I was not to have been injured or killed. You can avoid making the same dangerous mistake by being careful around electricity. Always look before you lift aluminum ladders to prevent accidental contact with overhead or nearby power lines. Never climb trees or poles near power lines.
Hey guys, let's get down.
Always keep a safe distance from electrical substations. And any place you see this warning sign. And always allow yourself plenty of clearance when operating heavy machinery. Remember, you don't have to be a genius to be smart about electrical safety. You just have to be careful how you conduct yourself.
It's right now, it's today, it's grand value. $1,000 cash back from Vermont, New Hampshire, and upstate New York Pontiac dealers. It's Grand Am with standard anti-lock brakes, thousands less than a quarter Camry. $1,000 cash back right now. Or grab the excitement of end of model year savings on remaining 1993 Pontiacs. Get savings of up to $1,000 right now. Today at your Vermont, New Hampshire, and upstate New York Pontiac dealers.
My mom kicked me out of the house. I don't know where to go. I'm scared. I guess they were right that I'd get into trouble hanging with those guys. Now I'm in deep. What am I gonna do? I just have to tell someone. I can't keep it a secret any longer. It's ruining my life.
It makes me so mad. Sometimes I think I'm gonna explode. I'm afraid I'm gonna hurt someone.
I'm really confused. I don't know who to listen to anymore. I need some answers. That was when I realized I needed help. Where can I go? Who can I turn to? I can't take it anymore. Every day it seems to get worse. I don't know how to make it stop.
If your life has become a nightmare, Boys Town can help you see the light. Call the Boys Town National Hotline, 1-800-448-3000. We're there for you night or day. That's 1-800-448-3000.
Voters in Harlan, Vermont have finally approved a school budget for the year. The $3.2 million budget was passed by a vote of 435 to 394. The last three Heartland school budgets were rejected, and many in town are thankful the fighting is over.
Probably will be relieved after 4 efforts, and the school board has to, in a month, start the new budget. So, yes, they probably will be relieved to have it over with.
What got this budget passed versus the other ones getting shot down?
I think part of it was the voters were tired of coming down, and they figured the school board had done the best job they can do this year.
In southern Vermont, the 2 recent refueling accidents at Vermont's only nuclear reactor are being blamed on human error. That's what the Nuclear Regulatory Commission says. The NRC launched an investigation just after the second mishap. News 31's Tina Detel has a story.
What went wrong during the latest refueling effort? NRC officials say lack of knowledge about proper procedure was a factor in the September 3rd incident, in which a fuel assembly was dropped 3 feet. The grappling, which is used to pick up and move the assembly, was not properly hooked onto the top handle, causing it to slip free. 6 days later, the problem was a technician's improper use of a joystick control.
The September 9th event involved a operator inadvertently going down on the controls while moving a fuel assembly.
Following the second accident, the refueling process came to a halt, and the NRC's augmented inspection team moved in. Today, the team, along with Vermont Yankee officials, discussed the findings, taking flack from some of those in the audience.
Essentially, it looks to me that the NRC is in a reactive mode. There's been an accident, there's been an incident. The NRC then takes a close look.
Even though a low-level emergency was declared and the fuel assembly was damaged in the first accident, officials maintain the process is safe.
A dropped fuel assembly is an analyzed event.
We're going to be changing the joystick wiring in that case. We're going to be doing some training to make sure that the operators know the procedures that the senior operators enforce.
As it stands now, the refueling process is less than 1/4 complete. In a letter dated September 20th, Vermont Yankee officials stated that they would not resume refueling efforts until they and the NRC determined that all issues had been resolved. Tina Detel, News 31, Vernon.
And the new owners of the Ascutney Mountain Resort want a federal grant, and West Windsor, Vermont is going to help them get it. At last night's selectmen's meeting, the board voted to send a letter to the Vermont Community Development Program informing them that the town intends to apply for a $350,000 grant. The new owners, Stephen and Susan Plosteiner, estimate it will cost about $2.8 million to get the resort back in business again. The Plosteiners purchased a resort earlier this year for $1.1 million. In addition to the federal grants, the Plosteiners will also apply for about $900,000 in other loans. The resort is scheduled to open later this fall. West Windsor selectmen have scheduled an October 15th public hearing to discuss the grant application. And a New Hampshire couple is suing Ben & Jerry's, claiming glass was found in some ice cream last year. Patricia and Lawrence Pratt of Center Sandwich, New Hampshire, say they found a piece of glass in a pint of Rainforest Crunch ice cream, which was bought at a market in Meredith. Mrs. Lawrence is suing the Waterbury, Vermont Cream Company, the distributor, and the market, saying she bit down on the glass and suffered injuries to her mouth and teeth. Mr. Lawrence is suing for a loss of marital relations following the alleged incident. A lawyer for Ben & Jerry's claims the company was not negligent, that damages were caused by a third person. The couple is seeking unspecified damages. And Vermont's unemployment rate fell in August to its lowest level in more than 3 years. The Employment and Training Department says the seasonally adjusted rate for August was 5%. That compares to a national rate of 6.7%. But Employment Commissioner Susan Auld says the unemployment rate doesn't tell the whole story. She says the economic recovery is unusual in that manufacturing and construction industries haven't begun to pick up yet. The lowest unemployment, not seasonally adjusted, was in White River Junction at 2.5%. The highest was in Newport at 6.6%. Coming up in about 5 minutes, your full forecast, and later Mark will be in with the highlights from today's Dartmouth UNH women's soccer game. But when News 31 The Night Report continues, NASA is awaiting the return of a shuttle.
Frank, I know, we'll take it. All right.
It's not easy running a small business. You just don't have the resources a big business has. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of New Hampshire understands that. That's why they've developed quality health benefit packages for businesses that don't penalize you for being small. Let a representative from Small Group Sales at Blue Cross and Blue Shield of New Hampshire help you with a health benefit package that lets you provide benefits and control costs so you have the same advantages the big businesses do. Because with Blue Cross and Blue Shield of New Hampshire, you can hang out with the big guys.
In celebration of TV 31's 15th anniversary, Ulrich Walton, the custom tailor in Springfield, Vermont, is having a sale. Now through November 1st, save 15% on all suit and sport coat ensembles. Save 25% on all shirts. Ulrich also does tuxedo rentals and alterations, and all his work is done to old world standards. So stop in and help celebrate TV 31's 15th anniversary with Ulrich Walton, the custom tailor in Springfield, Vermont.
Okay, buddy, you're almost ready for your first loan call. Shall we review?
Oh, you bet, Miss Scam Lover. First, we put out our ads for guaranteed loans.
Loan-hungry suckers, call in.
I tell them they'll get their loan as soon as we get a processing fee.
The fool sent us $250 each.
And we send them their loan.
Yeah, right.
Getting ripped off is no laughing matter. The Vermont Attorney General's office can help you see the difference between a good deal and a bad joke.
Loan Scam Unlimited, how may we take you today?
An empire forged by treachery and deceit.
My advice is to lock up the silverware.
I'm already on it. Is about to unveil its master plan.
Our word can be our bond until we decide to break it.
First, they will choose a new leader. Then they'll take over the galaxy.
When in doubt, be ruthless.
I'll touch it on the next episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Thursday at 8 on TV 31.
NASA wants the space shuttle to return to Earth, but Mother Nature isn't cooperating. NBC's Den Billow has a story.
When the weather plane spotted rain showers, the grandstands remained empty. The landing convoy went home. The astronauts didn't.
Frank, we're going to offer you another day on orbit. It looks like the weather at the Cape, again, is currently observed, no-go, forecast, no-go.
180 miles above, the decision was not unwelcome.
That's a tough offer to refuse, Charlie. I'd trade places with you, I tell you. Frank, we'd like to... we'll take it. All right. I'm sure there's 5 happy faces up there again.
The weather at the second landing time turned out to be fine, but Mission Control had no way of knowing that at decision time, an hour and 15 minutes before. Tomorrow, the chances of landing the orbiter will increase when the backup landing site in California is made available. NASA's forecasters say tomorrow looks like the best day this week to land here. So if showers pop up again in the morning, the plan is to go directly to Edwards Air Force Base. Either way, Commander Frank Culbertson will have to bring down the spaceship in the dark. That is something NASA has always avoided at KSC. The wetland-surrounded runway and 220-mile-an-hour landing speed allow little margin for error as it is. But the astronauts say they're trained and ready. They just hope this is the last of the many delays on this flight.
We will see you tomorrow. Seems like to be the way of 51 to take a little extra time to get anywhere.
And the space station project rises above opposition today in the Senate, getting enough votes to keep the project alive. The Senate voted 59 to 40 to fund the project, giving a thumbs up to the $19.4 billion asked by the president. There was heated round of debate on the floor from both opponents and proponents.
Here we are now in the last days of the 20th century, on the brink of the 21st century. America has to decide what it wants to be in the new world order. Just as we've been a military superpower because of our technology, we must continue to be an economic superpower because of our technology, and the future lies in space.
To hear all of that rhetoric for about 3 weeks about spending cuts, you get a chance to cut Star Wars, the space station, the Super Collider, ASRM, the Trident II missile. You get a chance to cut all of those things. You can't get enough boats to fill a thimble around here.
It is an orbiting laboratory, and reports say it could be in space within 10 years. And for all you Beantown transplants in the Twin States, the latest now from today's mayoral primary election, acting Mayor Tom Menino is predicting that he will be one of the 2 candidates who will go on to the final election in November. Suffolk County Sheriff Robert Rufo, City Councilor Rosaria Salerno, and State Representative James Brett are all in a close race for second. The 2 top candidates will go head-to-head in the November general election. And I'll be back right after this with the weather forecast. We have some warmer temperatures coming our way. Details next.
Despite all our efforts to create the quietest car possible, it's still making a lot of noise. The new Chrysler Concord.
Those big insurance companies love to take your money, but they hate to pay injured people. Let's face it, their job is to pay you as little as possible. My job is to help you get the money you need and deserve. If you've been injured, put me in your corner. Nobody takes advantage of my clients, and I don't get paid until you win.
Charlie Donahue, a dedicated injury lawyer, a man of action.
Repairing oil heating systems takes specialized equipment. A fuel analyzer costs about $180, a nozzle extractor $27. But the most important item in a Johnson & Dix service technician's toolbox costs less than $1. At Johnson & Dix, we know that treating customers with respect means treating their homes with respect, which is why we go to great lengths to keep a home clean when we make a service call. Johnson & Dix, we take the worry out of heating your home.
Hi. Paint? Wall covering? You've come to the right place. You've come to West River Paint. We're your independent dealer for all your painting and home improvement needs, whether you're trying to cover an entire house or just a chair. And we have the wall coverings to suit every taste. And don't worry, we have the tools you need to put it up and time to give you advice. Thanks for coming to the right place.
West River Paint, Putney Road, Brattleboro.
Well, the final hour of summer doesn't feel anything like summer. For Wednesday, more clouds and showers for the Twin States, although an approaching warm front will moderate our temperatures a bit from today's mid-50s readings. Today, not only the final full day of summer, but also a significant day in weather history. September 21st, 1938, the Great New England Hurricane. No such blow today, however. Let's check out the current conditions right here in White River Junction. The temperature, 51 degrees, humidity 51%, pressure 30.14, and the wind right now is calm. Now let's take out some temperatures. Let's get it out here. Temperatures from around the Twin States. Burlington 51 degrees, Montpelier 49, Concord 51, Keene 50, and on top of Mount Washington a usual cold of 36 degrees. Now for the forecast. Tonight, mostly cloudy, drizzle and fog. Lows around 40 degrees. For tomorrow, mostly cloudy, drizzle and fog. Morning clouds, afternoon sunshine, north light winds, highs in the upper 60s. And for Wednesday night, partly cloudy, mid to near 50 degrees. Okay, sports is up next. The Red Sox take on the Blue Jays tonight in the first of 3 from the Sky Dome. Mark will have the highlights when we return.
Slap down the line, fair ball, just out of the reach of Mo Vaughn.
At John Grapponi Ford, we've made it our business to make sure you're satisfied, not with a lot of hyper gimmicks, but with the service you've come to expect, and of course with solid, fair pricing. Like the 93 Ford Tempo GL for only $99.97. You pick the color. And the 4-door, 4-wheel drive Ford Explorer with a starting price of $17,898, also in your choice of color. At John Grapponi Ford, low prices are a given, but you'll remember us for our people, too. Grapponi Ford at the Auto Junction in Concord.
After 35 years' experience in well drilling, the Rag brothers know how important your water supply is. Our pump staff installs new systems, plus repairs and maintains existing systems, or increase the output of your low-yield well with hydrofracking. Concerned about water quality, Rag brothers can test your supply and install a custom-designed WaterSoft treatment system. Licensed in both New Hampshire and Vermont, we welcome both commercial and private jobs. Rag Brothers, prices you can live with and service you can depend on now and in the future.
Janine woke up in a cold sweat. She remembered getting really smashed the night before. The question is, who was this guy in her bathroom? What had they done? What about AIDS? Then Janine realized that unlike the rest of us, she was just a cartoon. Get high, get stupid, get AIDS.
Tonight's Community Bulletin Board is sponsored by Green Mountain Bank, serving central and southern Vermont.
In celebration of TV31's 15th anniversary, the John H. Kane Golf Club in Newport, New Hampshire is offering a special prize on golf at one of the area's finest golf courses. After 3 p.m. on Saturdays and Sundays, 2 people can play for just $40, including cards. So stop in and celebrate TV31's 15th anniversary and take advantage of this great golf deal at the John H. Kane Golf Club on Unity Road in Newport, New Hampshire.
Mark joins me now with sports. Mark, things just don't look good.
Yes, in lieu of a white flag, I'm gonna wave this piece of. I wish I had a white flag.
Me too.
Yes, might as well. Seeing as the Sox will not win the AL East, might as well get this thing over with so we can start thinking about the Patriots. Well, maybe that's not such a good idea, but anyway, the Sox were 5-0 losers tonight to the Blue Jays. Boston now 2 Skydome losses away from official elimination. Todd Stottlemyre really had it working tonight. First inning, Scott Fletcher strikes out on 3 breaking balls. Rob Deere, not much better. Stottlemyre held the Sox hitless through 4 innings of work tonight. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 4th as Roger Clemens was not getting any help from his teammates.
Position there. The runner goes, the pitch is strike. Pena bluffed the throw, and then his throw to third hit Carter. They had Carter, had the throw been on the money, but it hit Carter and went into left field all the way to the wall, and 2-run score. 3-0 Toronto.
Boy, does that sum up the past 5 weeks for the Sox. Meantime, Mel's kids struck out a career-high 11 batters, including the hit dog. Stottlemyre pitches a complete game, 3-hit shutout. Jays win it by the final score of 5-0. All right, down in the Bronx tonight, the Yankees needing a win over the Twins to stay 4 back of Toronto. Bottom of the 9th, 5-4 in Minnesota. Gerald Williams grounds out to end the ball game. Yankees will lose it by the final score of 5-4, and they are now 5 back of the Blue Jays, who win their 9th straight ball game tonight over the Sox. Hopefully, Frank Viola will have better luck tomorrow. Elsewhere, Baltimore losing to Cleveland in the 9th, 6-5. Milwaukee takes care of Detroit 7-4. California leading Chicago in the 2nd. White Sox up 5 on Texas in the AL West heading in as the Rangers are losing in Seattle in the 3rd inning. Elsewhere, George Brett's 16th home run, and it's Kansas City losing to Oakland in the 4th, 4-3. In Montreal this evening, the Braves were just all over the Expos. Top of the 5th, Fred McGriff smacks a grand slam. That made it 14-3 Atlanta. Nixon, Blauser, and Gant all come in to score McGriff's 35th homer of the year. Final score tonight, not pretty if you're a Spos fan, 18-5. And elsewhere, it was Houston beating San Francisco 6-0. So the Braves now lead the Giants by 3.5 in the NL West. Philly takes care of Florida tonight, 5-3. So the Phillies are 5.5 up on the Expos. New York beats Pittsburgh in a game that not too many people care about. Bob Tewksbury, his 10th loss tonight, falls to 17-10 as Chicago's all over St. Louis. San Diego and Colorado are still playing in the 6th. Los Angeles and Cincinnati, this one goes to the Dodgers in 11, 5-3. Locally today, the Dartmouth women's soccer team taking on state rival New Hampshire in Hanover. The Green heading in with a record of 1-1 on the season. Dartmouth getting a strong game from freshman forward Melissa McBean as the Big Green wins it by the final score of 3-1. The opposing netminders in this one, Captain Michelle Conroy for the Green and Molly Kirshner for the Wildcats. Both tossed shutouts in the first half, but a different story in the second. McBean with a great move to get the ball to Annalisa Gorman, who beats Kirshner as the Green takes a 1-0 lead. And just moments later, Dartmouth gets what turns out to be the winning goal. Kate Andrews gives McBean a great feed. McBean gets it by the outstretched Kirshner. Dartmouth goes on to beat New Hampshire 3-1. Boys high school soccer today was Lebanon and White hosting the Stevens Cardinals. Eric Pierce with a pass out front to Eric Sletton, who outduels Cardinals goalie Matt St. Pierre. And it's 1-0 Raiders with the lead. Late in the first half, Jason Stone has a penalty kick, but Lebanon goalie Brett Lupfer is up to the task. Stevens comes right back just minutes later off the corner kick. Watch number 13 coming up here. Todd McKay out front. A reverse header just over Lupp for a stretch. That tied it at 1-1, but the Cardinals went on to win it by the final score of 4-1. Seems like I'm always in here talking about players in professional sports and their salaries. How about this one signed, signed by Wayne Gretzky from the Los Angeles Kings tonight. 3 years, $25.5 million to make Wayne Gretzky the highest paid athlete ever in the history of sports. That surpasses Barry Bonds and yours truly. But imagine that $25.5 million for 3 years for Wayne Gretzky, and that back is a little bit questionable too. So
I just can't comprehend that amount of money at all.
It's just amazing.
Sure he'll know how to spend it.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. When you're the great one and you pack him into the forum, hey, what the heck?
Mark, thanks very much.
Okay.
When we return, they're chugging along in Pennsylvania. News 31 continues.
The Lincoln Mercury Model Year Move Out. It doesn't matter how you get here, just get here. This is your last chance to save on the 93 Lincoln of your choice. Get $2,000 customer cash on Town Car. Or take advantage of incredible 2-year lease terms on Mark 8 and Continental. But you better get moving because this Model Year Move Out moves out September 22nd. And right now, no one's offering you more for less. So get to your Lincoln Mercury dealer any way you can before our Model Year Move Out moves out.
Hi, I'm Tom Hoyt, and here's this week's TV 31 calendar. The Civic Club's 22nd Annual Bazaar in Pittsfield, Vermont, coming up over the weekend, specifically on Saturday. It starts at 9 o'clock on the Village Green, right there on Route 100. Going to be some competition, though. Lots of things coming up this weekend. In fact, as we look at our calendar, there's a chicken pie supper. That event is being sponsored by the United Methodist Church in Bradford. That's also coming up on Saturday. Seatings are both at 5 and at 6 o'clock. Want to raise money for a good cause? Well, there certainly is the opportunity. The 10th annual walkathon takes place to benefit the Brattleboro Retreat. 257-7852 is the number to call there. That event coming up on Sunday. If you'd like to see your T-shirt or your organization's sweatshirt on the air, just send me one. Be more than happy to wear it right here and help you get a little bit of valuable airtime. Like to see your event publicized? Drop us a line at the calendar in White River, and we'll get that on for you next week.
With more than 40 years in the business, Blood Seafood has a complete selection of all seafood items. Over 4,000 pounds of lobster in 3 tanks, everything from 1 to 10 pounds in size. We have a fresh selection of scallops, shrimp, clams, and fish for you to choose from. How about barbecuing fresh swordfish, salmon, and halibut steaks, often cut to order? At Blood's, we know our customers on a first-name basis. Stop by and say hello, and we're always happy to special order for you.
Well, they're blowing a lot of steam near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania today. It's not a lot of talk. They're machines that help shape our country. Jack Etzel has a story.
Folks around Finleyville get all steamed up every year about this time. Fires are stoked in the bellies of these smoking behemoths until the steam pressure is so great as to move them up a mountain. A small mountain. Well, maybe not. As much as anything else, it was steam power like this, however, that settled the West. In their heyday, these monsters could pull as many as 15 plows at a time, busting up buffalo-packed sod at a rate of 1 acre every 4.5 minutes. With a good head of steam, they can still pull a good hill. More steam. This is essentially the collection of one man, Willis Abel. Abel keeps his collection growing each year, and this year is no exception. His latest acquisition used to plow the ground of homesteaders in Montana in 1910.
They had 2 years of drought, so the farmers lost most of their property, so the engine wasn't needed there. They drove the engine 165 miles north to the Flathead Lake area. They built a raft, floated the engine across the Flathead Lake, and they used it in the sawmill there until 1931. Then I bought it, and this is the first time that it's been fired today since 1931.
So 62 years ago, they had monster trucks, huh? And could they climb? I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. You made it.
Technology has come a long way.
I'll tell you, it has.
Wrap up the sports, Amy?
Yes. Oh, God, I don't want to do this. Toronto, don't make me do it, Paul. Toronto beats the Red Sox tonight 5-0 on a Todd Stottlemyre 3-hit complete game shutout. And that's it. Sox fading fast.
Thanks, Mark. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow night at 6.
From the NBC studios in Burbank, The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. Featuring Branford Marsalis and The Tonight Show Band. Tonight, Jay welcomes Jamie Lee Curtis. And the music of Michael Crawford. I'm Ed